students, you can do something that satisfies everyone. I have just one little concern, and please clarify with ASUN. I just don't like the events where we have restrictions on numbers. In terms of we are resolving one movie and one student arriving, you have to arrive and stay there since 5 o'clock, let your ticket to the movie. That's what I just want to say. If you can take this into consideration.
You get to a question, please? Is that one more question?
It's not just a
Aye.
plan.
Interim Vice President Comer.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I did CFA for 2 years, and one of my pet peeves was groups who came to us who didn't have unique users. I said that for 2 years. We're now in our 3rd year, and it's still not being done. I think that that's one thing that is unacceptable. I also think that as an entity that is constantly having to change and be fluid with their events, having a website that isn't quite functional, I don't think very many people go there. I don't think that very many people, if they look at the events, they'll have no idea. Hopefully they check the front page or the home page. I think that having that not functional is also unacceptable. I don't really have an opinion on the exact appropriation. I've talked to many of you about the difficulties with programming on campus, and I believe you 100%. And I'm all behind your difficulties and your struggles and what your goals are. But I think that those two things are unacceptable, and if I'm around next year, I will come to the open forum and say that they're unacceptable. I think that a message needs to be sent constantly to our fee users that when something's requested, it's done. I think that unique users is something that has to be taken, and I think that advertising is something that has to be done better. UPC lives and dies by advertising, and I just haven't seen it. With that, I have no opinion on the actual allocation. I understand, like I said, I understand the difficulties that you guys go through, and I really appreciate the work that you put on choosing events and coming to decisions on what events to bring. I really appreciate that work, but I think that the other things I have not seen, so I'm disappointed.
Senator Fenn. Oh, gosh, sorry. Chair Lodia. Oh, and that's right, you already had 2, so sorry. Senator Fenn.
I guess I just want to address the concerns about the website and advertising. Last year, they did make some efforts to advertise in different ways. They did some guerrilla marketing. They have worked more closely with University Communications. If you notice, a lot of the events are on the homepage of UNL website. They work with UNL Life, which is new. They can put all their stuff on there. So some new things have been done with advertising, and it's still a work in progress, I will admit that. But some new things have been done with that. And then the website, I think just the fact that this summer they revamped their website, they are making an effort. And yes, I agree that there still are some shortfalls in the website, but they are making an effort. And I don't think that those two things are things that should sway your vote to not vote for this. I think this is a great resource on campus that I think many students would be upset if this was taken away. And I think to stay in a competitive environment with not only with artists, but also other big health institutions, I think this is a step in the right direction.
Senator Stevens.
That's a great transition. I have a question. What is the budget for other Big 12 schools, just so we have a perspective as to what we're allocating to UPC and what other schools that are comparable to us are allocating to their equivalents of UPC?
Unfortunately, there's no cross. It's hard to exactly explain because each school takes their fees differently. For example, some schools might only say, yeah, we have $100,000, whereas really they have millions of dollars because it comes from so many other different areas. So I can't give you an exact comparison. I can definitely tell you, although, that when other schools in our conference are bringing John Mayer, that they're definitely not going to be on the same budget-wise as we are. Definitely twice, 3 times more.
Are there actual schools that have done that, brought in acts that we can't even
It happens all the time.
Can you give some examples? I'm just trying to, I don't have any clue, that's why I'm asking.
Well, yeah,
the only thing I've heard is Kansas State brought in Owl City a little while ago, and Kansas State also brought in, might have been a year ago, they beyond what the welfare was, I'll say I think is in our price range with it.
And then there's like other, like problem space, I mean, especially if you talk to people at Creighton, Creighton gets incredible band, that has a lot more money to deal with, relative to what we have to spend. Specifically that, it was Oklahoma State that brought Alan Jackson, I believe. Please realize they brought that, and they also charged most people $45 a ticket, to go, and they sold it out, don't get me wrong, but they have to sell that much when they're spending so much on the concert. We are not the luxury of doing that, and we still won't have the luxury of ever doing that. But it is definitely, we are paling. My brother goes to the University of Arizona, and they spent $800,000 on one event. Granted, they have Kanye West there, and I'm sure Kanye West would put his foot and say Nebraska once we offered him $1 million. So.
That's my other question I have. Is there a problem with us being in Nebraska that we might actually have to shell out more money? Because I know when I worked at Texas A&M, I mean, it's right near Houston, Austin, and Austin, everyone comes there. So I don't know if that makes it harder for us.
Yeah, and it does, to say the least. One of the ways that people see this break down cutting costs is that getting traveling, touring bands that are, and they plot out where these bands are going and see, hey, you know, maybe we jump on here, save money not only transportation-wise, but also the fact that just bringing the band in would be far less expensive. The problem is that the area which we're associated with, not by our choice, but we're stuck with the Dakotas, I believe, Iowa, I want to say, and probably Wyoming, I'm guessing too. And so it's not very favorable to us. We don't have a choice, however, that we're stuck in this situation. We would grab something down from KU or K-State, something great rolls by.
Thanks.
So, Senator Solomon?
I have two questions and then I'll comment. The first one is for Internal Vice President Cooler. How long have you served on the CPAC for 2 years, right? Was UPC asked the last 2 years to provide us new computers?
I know for sure 1 year that we worked with them to try to get like a scanner for the end cards, and I think that failed. I don't know why it failed.
I'll just know that they did fail, and actually that's how they kept track of people that come around Jeremy. Make sure they're paying students, they get their IDs when they get in, and they don't, if their ID shows up negative, they're charged an amount that they every time they enter.
At that time, I was told that the system was too difficult, but obviously it's come through. If they're doing that, I don't understand.
Just to comment on that, they do have ideas of unique users. I don't know the issues that they don't have the numbers on us like right at this moment. Obviously, I've got tons of dollar sums in front of me.
Do you want to direct your question to Chair Lodia?
Sure.
Sorry, I didn't think about that.
Just because I'm new, I'll let you know.
I mean, it definitely has been, like, it was completely all in our budget presentation when they showed us. We made sure, hey, how many people go to this? It's like, you can't estimate it after a concert. I mean, if you want to count the people who are standing on their front porch across the way, like, those people count, I guess.
Well, I guess the point of unique users is that you know which people are coming back again for a second time or a third time. I guess I'll address the question at UPC. Why don't we have unique users or unique user data?
Well, we are using the ID scanner, and I assume I could probably go to the person that's helping us run that to see if that's data that we can obtain. I mean, we're brand new at using the scanners as of last year, and it at least tells us if a student is a student or a non-student, or if they've got given their reimburse their student fees. But I mean, I will tomorrow get on the phone and call them up and say, is that something that we can discover?
Okay. My next question is, we've heard that, and this is also directed at UPC and probably Carson, I would imagine, but we've heard that it costs $10,000 to rent out the Persian, thank you, sorry. We may never get, I mean, depending on the vote in May, we may